Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. Hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the crypto market recap. Let's go through these charts and see what the story is and what it may be. Okay, so what's on the docket? We're going to be looking at Bitcoin and we're going to be looking at a few other altcoins. And then we're going to go over an indicator. Yeah, so I'm gonna go over an indicator that I used to use that really helped train my eyes to see support and resistance levels, and also how to draw really cool trend lines that that kind of change your whole perspective about charting in general. So we'll go over that near the latter half. I just want to go briefly over Bitcoin, Luna, and I might throw in there Ethereum Classic and Ethereum. So, but definitely Bitcoin for firstly, because we took our profit off our Bitcoin long, and it was a great trade. It was a trade since January 17th, I think. So it was quite a long trade, and we took partials over those months. We took two partial profits over those months, and then we finally closed out the full position today because Bitcoin did what we have been waiting for, what we've been road mapping out, which is getting to the top of this wedge. And it did wonderful. I mean, it really did. It surged up today to 45,000, breaching the wedge for a little bit, and then now it seems like it's starting to respect this top trend line of the wedge, and we'll see if it can continue this way. It does have about 2.5 hours until this daily candle closes. But like I said before, this wedge can break to the upside. If it doesn't really change the overall structure. It has a lot more work to do before that. But it definitely can happen. It's still more probable as of now for it to start exhausting here, which we might be seeing, and then either going into a bullish consolidation, so like a bull flag forming here to get the juice to maybe get through here and go higher, or to break down, go back to 42K, try and hold this level to get the juice to attempt to break the level again, or it's going to have just a straight reversal and just come right on down, and it'll come to this trend line here. There's another rising support zone happening here, like right around here. I'll just say, not completely cleanly drawn, but you see my point. Like there's another little support zone here that it'll probably come down to. It's around 39,000. So that could happen, and then if that holds, it'll try and come back up to 42, and if that holds, then it'll come back down, break lower, and then we come back here. All right. In my opinion, we're still on track to break this wedge pattern, bearish, and if that happens, we'll get to 33K and likely break through 30K pretty quickly. Okay. And well, again, if it does happen, it happens. If not, it's all right. We're on the sidelines. We're 100% out of crypto, and we're getting ready for the opportunities that are forming. And I'm going to talk about that real quick. So one of the reasons why I ended up closing the position completely was because I was seeing a lot of short opportunities starting to form. So I wanted to make sure that we had plenty of powder on the sidelines, ready to go once those scenarios were in the process of actually playing out. And Bitcoin's one of them. So I'm looking at Bitcoin. If it does break past this wedge, 46K is an interesting level to possibly open short, but I would ideally really like to get at 48K. That would be a great place to start short. If it gets to 50K, that would be another place to start to get into another add-on for the short, or at least start the position there. Again, nothing really has changed until 54K is taken out, and then 50K is held as support. That's when I would say, hey, that's when the whole structure's probably changed, and we're likely getting the fuel to try and break out and go to new all-time highs. But that whole scenario is very unlikely still. It's not the probable path, and I can't take that path. Okay, that's not how I operate, especially now that I'm trading not just for myself. I'm trading as if everyone in the room is following. So I want to make sure I take the most probable path. Okay, but I'll just draw it real quick, just so it's very clear what may happen. Again, not what is going to happen, what may happen. Okay, so it comes up to here, and then this is I would expect once it gets to 50K would start to come lower. Okay, that's when I think this will probably play out, and we go low, we go low, and then boom, we're gonna break out. But you know, again, not confirmed or anything. This is like this. I don't even think 50K is gonna be touched, but if it were, I'd be very surprised if we break through it. But again, I don't make the rules in the market. The market will tell me what it's gonna do. I'm just ready for whatever possible opportunity that it will give. All right, so I think I went over Bitcoin well enough. You know, we took our money off it. We made well over, we made 15%, 16% just off of the closure today, not including the partial profits we took, you know, weeks ago. All right, so let's go over Luna, because we've been looking at, actually no, let's go over Dogecoin first. I actually tweeted this coin, yeah, and I added these drawings here, so for the video. So Dogecoin, I tweeted about, you know, I'm not in a position with Dogecoin, and I wasn't, you know, indicating to get long or anything. It was just more of an observation. You know, Dogecoin was finally breaking through this really strong descending trend line, very steep, and it's showing some good strength, especially relative to Bitcoin. Not a ton. It's really holding on to its gains, really fighting off those losses. But if, let's just say, Bitcoin holds where it is, I think you have a good chance that Doge does go up to 60, anywhere from 16 cents to 20 cents. The 20-cent mark, though, I think that can only happen if Bitcoin breaks upward, you know, outside the wedge of the upside and gets towards 48,000. I would be very surprised if Doge is able to move that far with Bitcoin still in the wedge. And if Bitcoin starts breaking down or going into that bullish bull flag consolidation in the wedge, like I mentioned before, like, you know, starts painting the bull flag here, then I can see Doge coming down into the support and possibly making a inverse head and shoulders. Again, I don't really like, you know, taking positions off inverse or just head and shoulders in general. They're more of a coin flip sort of pattern, but they are cool patterns, mainly because you can measure out their measured move, and they tend to work. Once they play out, they tend to actually move to the measured move. And what I mean by that is, so you take the bottom of the head in this case to the neckline, and you put your trend line at the neckline, and you can get a general sense where the head and shoulders pattern will play out to if it confirms, if it validates. In this case, it would go right into the middle of the box, about 16.5 cents. So, you know, it's an interesting chart. It's definitely one you don't want to be long right now. You just want to have an alert on it. If you could get long here, it might be good enough, but you do want to keep your eye on Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin's breaking under especially 42K and it gets down here, I would be very careful, because it's likely Bitcoin's going to break under 40,000. If that happens, this will not hold. It'll go down to here, and this will break very quickly. Okay, this will likely break very quickly unless Bitcoin gets an impulse at 39,000. All right, like a buying impulse there. But yeah, this is a cool chart. And of course, I always have to say when it comes to Doge, Elon reigns supreme. Okay, so let's take a look at Luna, because we were looking at Luna before. Oh yes, so we have been for the past 2 days looking at Luna. It's in the bear flag, and you know, Luna's actually been really bearish today, because Bitcoin was having a nice day today. It went all the way up to 45K. A lot of these altcoins were up, you know, multiple percentages, like 2, 3, 4%, and Luna was barely up at all. Like it was at best maybe 0.5%, maybe a little bit more than that. But it's been a very bad day, and you know, this structure, like I've said before, is very, very bearish. And it seems to really be respecting this bear flag. It's still forming. Whether it validates or not, we'll see. If Bitcoin, I think even if Bitcoin breaks out of the wedge to the upside, this is still going down. It might stunt the sell-off though. So if Bitcoin breaks up, let's say to, like, you know, 48,000, Luna may still go down to $85, but not sell off as much as it would have. if Bitcoin were to just, break lower towards the 39,000, 40,000 level, or the 42,000 level, or even lower to the bottom here, like 37,000. So it does depend on Bitcoin to a degree with this, but there are some rules and charts that are extremely hard for markets to break in general. Like when you have a move like this, people want to take their money. It's like it does come back down to that point. Let's just see how much. So if you bought at this diagonal trend line, pretty much, right? Wow, look at that. Oh my gosh, that's 115%. I mean, that you doubled your money, not including any leverage. So if you were using leverage, it's far more. But if you were just going, straight spot, just buying spot, yeah, you doubled your money. So a lot of these people want to take their profits, So, if this stuff starts breaking down, especially if $86 is lost and this low is lost, you're going to see people who are up 60, 70% definitely want to take their money out and not watch their gains all, evaporate. So, yeah, Luna's pretty bearish, right now. It's still holding a bullish structure, but this is bearish. Like this is leading to a bearish structure. Okay, you're technically not really bearish until this ascending trend line is broken. But if Bitcoin starts breaking under 30K and such, don't worry, Luna will be breaking under this, and it will get to these levels. Unless something changes in regards to how coins react to Bitcoin, but that hasn't happened yet. So let's go over. Let's go over Ethereum Classic. Yeah, cause I've been looking at Ethereum Classic. Not in a position. I'm really been eyeing it because the move has been absolutely ridiculous on this coin. Very similar to Luna, but even more aggressive. But what's interesting about it now, it's going into a consolidation, a bullish consolidation, possibly a bull flag forming. And I'm thinking that we might actually see another impulse out of Ethereum Classic towards the $60 zone. And that would be a very nice place to possibly go short. So I'm starting to look for any shorting scenarios, any shorting opportunities on these coins. And Ethereum Classic has caught my eye. We have to wait and see. When things go into reload, right? So like right here, so 50, actually right here, yeah. So $55, not a bad place to go short. All right, it's not a bad place, but you don't want to go short there anymore, because if this confirms as a bullish consolidation, a bull flag, well, it's very unlikely to hold. So when that happens, you do want to raise your target entry a little higher. All right, you want to take into account the new information you're getting. So, if you have an entry that you're set on, so let's say you were set on a short at $55 down here, like if it ever gets here, I'm shorting. Well, you don't want to do that if you see an impulse like this and then it starts correcting, going into a range of some sort of consolidation that's bullish, like a bull flag, because then it's likely to break past that and go to a stronger resistance or the next resistance zone, which would be around $60 to $62. Okay, you would want to raise your target to there. You understand? Don't, new information is coming. So like this is new information that you didn't have over here if you were saying I'm going to short at $55. And you know what? Let's use the Ethereum. Let's use this chart for the indicator. So these are swing highs and swing lows, right? So here's a swing low. So there's a bottom, goes up here, swing high. Here's a swing low, and then here's another swing high. So what that means is, these are points of where it hit a top or a bottom, and then for a period of time went down or up from there. So if you're a novice to charts, or you don't have much experience looking at charts, it's not all the time very clear. Like sometimes you have stuff like this where you're like, well, is this a swing high? Is this a swing low? And there are some ways to make it easier for yourself. And one of the ways I like to use, one of the ways I like to make it easier is called the pivot swing high and swing low indicator. It's totally free. It's on TradingView. It's actually a built-in indicator. So what I like about this indicator is it gives you not just the swing highs and swing lows, it also shows you confluence. And what I mean by that is the further you go left, the more Confluence you're going to see. All right, and this is probably what made me fall in love with charts. It's you can go all the way to the past, and somehow, for whatever reason, be it magic, it still affects the present and future. It's really incredible. So let's take a look at this. Let's put it into practice. So let's start with just horizontal support. So literally just drawing a line that's horizontal. So let's go with the ones that are very clear. So here's this. So here's this pivot, top here, pivot low, then pivot top. You can see these two pivots pretty much almost touched, to the dollar here, $6 difference. And let's put the line there. Okay. So now we see, okay, resistance, clear double top, resistance. All right. So that's clear. And even though this isn't a pivot, you also see that, hey, over here too, it showed resistance and respected and came down. And then even right here, not a pivot, but you see that, hey, this wick touched this point and came up. So there is respect for this line. And going into the future, there may be more respect for this line. Okay, so you have to keep this into account, and this helps you at least get a map in your head of, all right, where there's going to be key levels to look at. All right, but we're not done yet. We're not done yet. So we saw swing high. Let's look for swing lows. Let's see what is touching often. So what is price action touching often? That's all you're looking for. So we have this right here is 39.624. A lot of action here. Okay, because not just going right, but even going left. Look at this. See right here? So 49.826 right here. 49.826. But look where the body closed. Look at this. It is like magic. All right. Could not close above it. All right. Failed off of it and then eventually broke out. Then, look at this from April 17th, 2021. And then May 2021, literally May 19th, 2021, literally about a month later, comes back to this level to test as support. That's like magic. Okay. Then we go forward, another point of testing it, held up, tested again, held up, found the resistance here, almost tested here, pretty much just kissed it, very close, but didn't get to that point. This might be an interesting place to draw another line. We'll see. Okay, comes back, tries to hold it, but failed and couldn't. And look at all these times. It almost gets here, almost gets there again, and then finally breaks through it. See, this is why trend lines are pretty cool. But it's also catching. Look at this. These lows and this high, they're catching all this action in here. All this action. All right. So now we see we got a lot of action here. So let's just go a little wild. All right. So what I want to really get through to a lot of you is that you don't really need clean lines. And what I mean by that is you don't need every point touching a line. That's not the biggest deal. All right. Because the whole idea of the trend lines is to help your brain understand the information that's being shown. Same thing with the indicator, all right? It's in the name. It's just indicating to you information. It's not supposed to make your decisions for you. You have a brain and you must use it, all right? So look at this. So let's see here. Let's do I'm going to do a little colored box. So it kind of helps, I think, make it a little cleaner for people to follow. So we can get an idea of how these zones really look. Wow, it's starting to look a bit cleaner now. I feel like Bob Ross. So I don't have his hair. All right, so now we have these two pretty much zones of support and resistance, and in between it's like a range. All right, and then we have this key high point, and you know what? We'll go. Let's see, where's a key low point? Let's see. Right there, maybe. You know what? Let's do that. We'll look at 32,179 as a key low point. So now things are kind of clear, huh? Look at that. Look at that. That's pretty clear. So, all-time high gets hit, comes down, finds a little bit of a bounce here and here, wick here, up here, tries to bounce up, fails at the key high point, tries to bounce here, fails, comes here, bounces, and now for a good long while it's playing in this range, finally fails through and breaks under the key low point and tests that key low point multiple times, and finally gets the impulse to go higher, and it breaks this low zone, and now it's trying to form a bullish consolidation to test this high zone. And you know what you would think is, all right, well now it's likely going to test this, and if it plays out the whole, you know, this whole bull flag, it'll probably break through it. That's a possibility, and it really is. But we can use the pivots for more. All right, we don't have to just go horizontal. That's right. We can go crazy. We can use trend lines to go diagonal. So this is probably what's hardest for most new traders and pretty much most people who have just started looking at charts, is to see how do the diagonal lines work, because you can see the horizontal lines even without the swing lows and swing high numbers. You can get an idea that, hey, certain points, you know, horizontally do match, but diagonally can get a little difficult until your eyes get used to it. But let's go from this bomb 32,179, and let's see. You don't have to be right the first time you draw. All right, I doubt I'll be. Let's see. So I'm gonna go from here to here. All right, so why did I do that? Why did I go from here and bring it to that length? Yeah, I'll show you. Let me make this a little bigger. Right here. So 44. So what I was looking for is Confluence. I've mentioned this before in previous videos, is when you have horizontal support or resistance matching up with a diagonal support or resistance. All right, so right here for the 44.040, you see it. Look at that confluence, rising diagonal support right on top of the horizontal support. Boom, price touches right there and respects it, and then eventually fails. And this too, this broke under with the wick and then end up closing above this horizontal support. But what does this mean? Does this change the picture at all? It does. You know why it changes the picture? Look at this. We thought, well, if this is a bull flag and it validates, boom, it's going to break through. But look what it's going to hit. This trend line is still valid. It's still coming. It's not just because this broke under and it hasn't been there for a while doesn't mean this is gone. No, I'm not kidding. These lines are like charts. These lines are like magic on the charts. Like it is still relevant. You will find that this is going to be respected somehow. I don't have all the answers to why, but it does. So let's try another one. Let's see. What about to here? 43,153. You see where I'm drawing that from? Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Why is that significant? Why is that significant? I can tell you why. So, not only did we draw from the same point, the low point, we see that a pivot here, Confluence, hit here, respected it. Now it's making a little bit more sense as to why this wick came down here, huh? And then popped right up. That's crazy, isn't it? And then it goes up, comes back down, fails this, tries to hold this line, fails it, and comes back down. Isn't that incredible? So that's how you're looking for diagonal supports, and that's the power of these pivot swing highs and swing lows. They can help you visualize it and help you draw it. And you know, if your line is incorrect, then it's fine because you can just keep drawing. So what you want to see is just multiple points of activity. That's all. Multiple points of activity. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Not everything needs to touch. All right. So let's see for something coming down. So let's start from this double top up here, 77.370 to 65,330. Let's pull it down and see what's going on. Okay. So interestingly enough, at this point, okay, we're seeing a touch here, and then here it had a little bit of a reaction, but then it burst right through, and that, you know, that works. That works fine. So let's say this fails and it comes down. Well, this trend line is going to be somewhat significant. It may not hold it as support, but we know that it will likely have some of a reaction. But let's see what happens if we bring this lower. So instead of 65,330 being the point, we bring it lower to touch more candles. You understand? So we want more activity from this high, right? So we're going to make it touch this pivot, and look what happens here. So this pivot, yeah, it went beyond it for the wick, but it closed under it here and then respected it in this candle. So this is valid, breaks under, and look, comes up, tests it here, fails, tests it here, fails, and finally gets the power to go through. Isn't that incredible? See, this is what made me fall in love with charting, because this is from September 2021, and this happened February 22nd, and this happened March 3rd. Oh, sorry, not February 11th. So it's like, why, right? It's like you have to ask yourself the question: why does this have a significant role in charting? Why is this respected? Well, it's magic. It's magic. It really is the algos that a lot of these market makers and institutional traders use that love to create levels this way. All right, because remember, levels are created by a multitude of reasons. Some people say it's the self-fulfilling prophecy that if everyone can see it, they all hop into it. Fibonacci numbers are like that, and these trend lines may be like that as well. But the point is, we don't really need to know exactly how everything works on the back end. We just need to know what works and how they work, and we can see these trend lines work. So now the story is very clear, right? This had a massive breakout because it finally broke this descending resistance. And now it has not just this horizontal zone of resistance to deal with, it also is going to have these rising levels of resistance. All right. So now, is it more likely that it breaks past this zone? No, it's actually going to be very difficult for it to break through. Doesn't mean it won't, but now we also have key levels where we can add to our shorts. You see? So let's say you want to add at this zone. Well, now it makes more sense to add here. So you can add at $60, $59. See if it breaks higher. You could definitely add at this rising trend line, which is about $70 or more. And then if you keep drawing, you're going to see a lot of Confluence. So, don't be afraid to give it a shot. Go all the way back to the beginning of a chart and draw and see what you see. Okay? All right, so I think that's about everything I want to go over. If you have any questions, please post them in the Discord. Send pictures of your charts for sure. I would love to see what you can find. If you see anything interesting, share it with the group. Also make sure your alerts are activated, because I am eyeing a lot of opportunities, and the moment I get into them, I will make sure to ping them in the Discord. If you are interested in joining the Patreon for more callouts or any one-on-one tutorings, please take a look. You'll find the description you'll find the link in the description below or on the Discord. Same for the Discord link will be in the description below for this video. All right, everyone. I just want you to know I love you. I want you to have a great day. Be safe. Enjoy that weekend, and always remember: be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. Take care, everyone. Bye.